Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles. I just wanted to give you guys a quick comparison today between the Hasbro Masterpiece Grimlock and the original Takara Masterpiece MP-8 Grimlock that was released a few years ago. Now, my brother has never really gotten into the Masterpiece Transformers like I have, but he always loved Grimlock as a kid, and so he found out that Toys R Us here in Australia were stocking the Masterpiece Grimlock, so he got that today, and he did have a problem that I'll go through a bit later, and so he did give it to me to just check through, and I thought I'd give a good comparison since there are some pretty clear differences in my view. So I'll first go through the accessories. So for the Toys R Us version, then Hasbro, it does come with the crown, which I don't have the original crown for Grimlock. I don't think it actually came with the crown, to be honest. I think it came with the apron and so on, but not a crown. But I did get the King Grimlock, which is a more of a golden hue. But that's okay. Now, if you look at the swords here, you'll see the Takara on the left and the Hasbro on the right, and you'll see straight away the difference in paint application. So the Takara is a much sort of darker, richer, chromed sort of red, whereas the Hasbro is a more of a it is slightly chromed, but it's a brighter, less sort of appealing sort of red, if you ask me. And the plastic on the blade itself is it's not as clear, so it's like a frosted lower quality type plastic, whereas you can see the Takara is much clearer. And with the guns themselves are pretty much the same. The plastic and the black is probably a bit more uniform on the Takara, but the worst thing for the Hasbro version is if you have a look at the these bits here, these white plastic bits. The Takara again is very clear and smooth. There's no sort of bubbling inside, but the Hasbro version has some weird bubbles that you can see through the plastic here, which really sort of ruins the look. And the plastic again is sort of like a frosted plastic, which they because the Takara, well, not the Takara, the MP-8X King Grimlock recent re-release that I got, I didn't realize that it was an actual Hasbro Asia release, and so these sort of lower quality aspects of the figure translated into that MP-8X reissue. Now, if I had known that, I probably would have looked for a better bargain, or not picked it up at all, because they did cut a lot of corners, Hasbro, in releasing that. Unfortunately, I never got the original MP-8X to be able to do the comparison. But now that I've got the original MP-8 Grimlock and the Hasbro reissue here, the immediate thing that you can sort of tell, now my camera probably won't pick it up too well, but just in normal light you can clearly see the difference in plastic. So the plastic on the Takara, it's thicker, it's not as translucent, it's got a nicer shade of grey, and it even seems like the detailing is just a little bit sharper, whereas on the Hasbro version the plastic is it's almost got like a translucent, almost a dull brown sort of colour to it, particularly in the wings here. I don't know if that's picking it up. You can sort of see how translucent it is. My hands are just passing behind it, and you can see how translucent this plastic here. Now the Takara version, you can't see through that at all. And so the plastic on the Hasbro here is definitely thinner and a lower grade sort of plastic. I guess the chroming is just as nice, so that's good. And all the other paint apps are pretty good as well. One thing that I noticed similar to the MP-8X reissue, the arms here, the ball joint right there is not painted, unlike the original Takara where the ball joint is all chromed, all painted. So that's one of the first things I noticed on the MP-8X, wondering why the hell the ball joint was a different color. That was just I don't know why Hasbro cut that out, but they did. The other issue, the joints themselves range from very loose. You'll see the hips on this are much looser than the Takara, and yet the hands themselves, the issue my brother had was when you sort of flick that out and fold this hand in, and even on this hand as well, it was very tight and it was very difficult to try and get that back out. So I had to actually, for the first time, I had to actually get a little small screwdriver and just pry it back out. But once I did that, now it's sort of it's still a bit tight, but it sort of flicks out with a bit more force. So that's just something a bit to be a bit aware of. I don't know if that sort of points to any mold degradation or anything like that, but yeah, you can sort of tell some things aren't fitting quite as nicely as the Takara in some of the joins and so on, but that could just be you know, a particular case of this one being made or something like that. But definitely the quality is not as good. One of the other things I don't like, and is also reflected in the MP-8X, you'll see here, now I don't know if the camera and the LEDs here are picking it up or not, but the plastic, the clear plastic here and the clear plastic on his chest has a very distinct green tinge, whereas the Takara is again perfectly clear. And it, yeah, side by side, there's a very, very big difference. And with the teeth, I guess even the original Hasbro release had rounded teeth, whereas the Takaras are sharp and the claws are sharp, whereas the Hasbro ones, for I guess safety reasons, are rounded as well. But that's not too big an issue. It's more the overall sort of plastic quality, the frosting of the plastic, the translucency. So yeah, I guess you know, I guess we picked this up in Australia for 130 Australian, which is probably as cheap as you're gonna find it if you don't have the originals. I guess I was lucky enough to get the original MP-8 for I think its original retail price was 150 or something like that. And I was able to only pick it up about a year after it was released, and that was before the Masterpiece line really took off. So the price rises weren't as high as they are now. So I guess my brother's happy that he's got it, but I did want to just give a quick comparison because there is a definite difference in quality. So pick this up if you don't have that, or you just want a cheaper alternative to really you know, to play around with, because I don't really actually play around and transform my MPs too much. But yeah, if you want to have something like that, then definitely pick up the Toys R Us version. I think I just noticed that I think these are still die cast, but they're chromed, whereas the original Takara isn't chromed at all. It's more of a matte, unpainted die cast metal. So just another little difference I noticed there. But overall, for $130, I guess for new collectors and so on, it's probably as good as you're going to be able to get it, unless Takara come around and make a new Grimlock that's slightly bigger to be in scale with the recent crop of MPs. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked that. Well, I guess it was about a 10-minute comparison, but I hope you guys can click that subscribe button if you like my ramblings. And I've got MP-21 Bumblebee and 22 Ultra Magnus coming, hopefully by the end of the year. So I hope you can subscribe and stay tuned for the reviews on that as well. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers, bye.